Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Angry Cast and Satisfactory. I know the last episode was a little bit disjointed, had a lot of things going on, and also was very scattered. I want to go just to do a real quick recap of what we're going to be doing because we are ready to turn on nuclear power. So, if you want to start doing that nuclear power, understand that you just can't drop down some nuclear power plants and be done with it. You have a lot of things to think about. It takes a lot of things to make a nuclear power plant run, and you also need to do something with the nuclear waste. So I have this whole entire setup, like we said, that was designed by a TotalXclipse, and I want to run through it real quick if we can. So first thing that happens is you have to truck your uranium. Now uranium isn't found very many places. You have and as well as not being in very many places, it's also not near other things that you would need, or you have to have access to other things you're going to need. So I have here, and then one other place. Now, you want to have water. You got to have water nearby in order to run it, and then you have all these other things that we need as well, as like bauxite, and we need the sulfur, we need limestone, iron, copper, coal, silica, all that in order to make this run. So I picked here because everything was pretty close and I had a large body of water and it wasn't really near anything that I'm currently using. So, damn saves. So right now as we're sitting here, the first thing that happens is we have to make the encased uranium cells, and that requires 10 uranium to make 3 concrete and 8 metric cubic meters of sulfuric acid. Math is escaping me right now. I have production line for concrete. I've got the uranium going to be trucked in from over there, and I've also set up this refinery to process sulfur and water and to make it into sulfuric acid, which is running into the blenders in the back. Once that is created, it will then pump out extra sulfuric acid, which will go over to our other blender for the byproducts, as well as push out the encased uranium cells over to these 3 manufacturers, which, along with encased industrial beams and electromagnetic control rods, will actually create our uranium fuel rods to go into the nuclear power plant. So already we have to do 2 things. There's 2 steps to making fuel for that. And again, you're going to need to have a steady supply of encased industrial beams and electromagnetic control rods. I have a thing down here, a factory that's producing the encased industrial beams, and I have a shitty factory over the hill doing the electromagnetic control rods. Again, you got to make sure you have the steady supplies of these things, or it will begin to gum up the works and you'll lose power. So once those things are in here, and it's going to make the fuel rods, then those fuel rods are going to filter out through these belts into the nuclear power plants, and then they will start to process, they will start to fill up, and then the waste output will be uranium waste. Now, I had a problem the way I set this up, and I don't know if this is because of the updates or just the way I set it up, but there was an extra piece of belt that was not doing anything, and I couldn't get to it because it was just inside there, and I couldn't grab it. See, I can't grab this until I get outside of the frame, but everything was stuck in there. There was like 500 barrels just stuck in there, and everything went to shit when I was doing some testing. So make sure, there's an easy way to do this. Make sure you just put something in the waste output and see if it comes out. That's the easiest way to tell. And if it doesn't, then you need to just demolish this and start over again. I had to demolish this already, and this is not easy to set this up. But this has got the inputs on this is your fuel, and then you also need to have water. So we have water coming in that's being produced by these 6 water extraction pumps down over here, which are being pumped up over here and ran around the sides and into the back. That will provide the water to the nuclear power plant, and then with the fuel rods will produce power, and then it'll chuck out the waste. And that will come along the back and run and split between two different stations. The first one is a blender, which is taking the excess sulfuric acid from our other production line, as well as making its own from some, as well from the from the input on the blenders, and along with that's uranium waste, and then we have a silica plant over there that's just dropping silica, raw quartz into silica and into this blender, along with nitric acid, which we have a nitrogen pump over there, which then also provides us with the water from an extractor, as well as the water that's a byproduct of the process of making the waste product, which is, like, the uranium waste is going to be turned into non-fissile uranium. That's the first step in the process of being able to get rid of the waste. We take nuclear waste, the uranium waste, and we turn it into non-fissile uranium with this nitric acid, sulfuric acid, silica, and the waste. And then the byproduct, I said, is non-fissile uranium and water. The water gets fed back down into the pump for the nitric acid, and then this flows into this particle accelerator, which is also getting the uranium waste from our nuclear power plants, along with the non-fissile uranium is going to make the plutonium pellets. That's the second step in sinking all this stuff. That then flows into a assembler, which is using the plutonium pellets and another concrete line split off from our initial concrete line to make the encased plutonium cells. That then gets turned into plutonium fuel rods with a steel beam, electromagnetic control rods, and heat sinks. So we have all these things being fed in from other locations in order to make, and we have a steel plant down over there somewhere that's going to feed everything into this manufacturer, which is going to turn all this into a plutonium fuel rod. That plutonium fuel rod can then be synced into our awesome sink in order to get rid of it, and that'll clean up all the nuclear waste from this entire operation. We should have something on the order of magnitude of 15,000 megawatts, and now we're going to go take care of hooking everything up and see if it works. Down behind our our factory for the encased industrial beams, there is this cave system that leads to the uranium deposit, which is underground right here. We got to get there first, and of course there's some shit between us and it. So let's go take care of that. And the funny thing is it doesn't all spawn at once. In fact, we should let's do this first. We'll run this down first, and then set this back up. Now, if I had my smart car here, it wouldn't bother me, but I don't have the smart car. I'm going to run these along the sides, because this is going to be an easy way for me to travel back without being attacked if something happens to be, if I ever need to come down here for any reason. Because I can use the zip line to run this back up and not have to deal with whatever's going to get me either here or later. And it's got to be here somewhere. Where's he at? I turned the passivity off, so I should get attacked. There he is. Okay, let's go deal with this jerk. Oh. No. Okay, hold on. Yeah, okay. Well, okay, never mind. That was not as bad as it should have been. Of course, I had a couple hits on him before. I didn't cheat so much as I just didn't realize that I didn't hit apply when I changed the settings. But there's going to be more. But it's going to be the little guys. Okay. We get down into this hole. Here's where the there that is. Okay, there we go. Alright. Hopefully I can make it there. Always make sure you bring enough stuff down with you so you can get back up. Because otherwise, you're going to be making multiple trips. And as you know, let's say you get so far and you run out of materials and you have to go back for more. By the time you return, you could find yourself with a belt that has active uranium on it, and now you're just zapping yourself with radiation. So just be careful. And I made some of those. I have the hazmat suit, and I also have the gas mask and the iodized filters. So I'm protected, but it will burn through those, and you gotta make sure you get the mycelium and coal and all that stuff to make the filters, and then actually make the iodized ones. This is a long journey. Very long journey, which is probably a good thing. Oh shit. Yeah. They make new noises. Holy crap. That's not the noises they used to make. Wow, okay. But again, that's why that's pretty much why I turned it off, because really, quite frankly, what you know, nothing is going to get us that big. Now, the worst ones are probably going to be the ones, the hogs that are radioactive, or the gas, or the gas ones, the super ones. All right. Okay, we're almost there. Alright, oh, just shy. Alright, let's check it out. See, this right here is what I'm talking about. All this up ahead of time. And I tried to make it look pretty, and I did all that, and yet, look what's happening. It won't go through right there. It's causing problems right there. So even if I redid a splitter, it's not going to work. So we gotta get that out of my thing. So now it's flowing in. It's flowing to that one. It's only flowing to that one. So we got to do that. Damn you, save. Come on. I don't have time for your bullshit. And now it's going through that one. So then we got to go back and eliminate the back one. Seriously, what the shit is this? Actually, it's going to go through there. Yay. Okay. This should now be good. We've got one blender going for sure. Just loading up. And these things take 50, so we have to make sure that I haven't got this thing hooked up just yet. It's going to hit this wall of, at this merger and not be able to go out, because I want to get enough of the stuff backfilled, because look, it's 37 to 50. It's going to be slow going. And then you can go through and add in all the belts you want, but you got to make sure that you have enough especially when you have, and this is the thing you really need to be careful with. When you have stuff like this, you've got an output of sulfuric acid and encased uranium cells. If this part fills up and has nowhere to go, it will not produce any more of these, and then you will bog down the entire process, and then that won't happen, and you won't get any fuel out. So every so often, make sure you check your pipelines and make sure that things are flowing correctly, or flush the pipes and start again. Let it catch up. Put some, make sure you have valves in the right places. Because if you don't, these things can backflow, and you can have yourself a gum up of all your works. So keep an eye on us for now. This is the one thing that if you don't pay attention to what you're doing, and I rarely do, will bite you in the ass. And that is the fact that if you look at this, we're producing one uranium fuel rod every every 4 minutes. Wait, what does that mean? 0.4 per minute. So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so over 3 minutes. So almost 4 minutes it takes us to produce just one. Okay. So you can see how long it's taking. Even if we throw in some shards in there, it doesn't matter, because you need to have enough coming in on the left. This here. I don't want to deplete these two things that are definitely going to be have to be controlled, because I have factories running them. So that's why I'm going to let this build up for a while. It might take a while. I mean, it might take a day, because you figure I got 6 of these machines running. It's just to have six of those. It's going to take me almost 8 minutes to get that done. No. No. After figuring out math on my fingers and pulling off my socks, it's going to take me to get 6. It's going to take me 18 minutes to get 6. Now, granted, that will run a pretty decent amount. And again, we've got batteries standing by waiting, because that will also help. And we're gonna start charging those and getting those capacity, up to capacity, so that when it gets pulled in, because as it is right now, we've got 2,700 production, and our max capacity is like 2,700. So that means that the coal producing plant I got down over the hill from there, and the fuel one that we did last time that I showed you over yonder with that oil deposit, that's given me 2,700 megawatts, and run all of these machines so that I can produce 15,000. Again, I told you we're going to lose probably close to 10% in the process, and that's a little bit over that when you think about it. But I'm going to charge those batteries, and then I'm going to use that to connect to the main thing, and then we can start to do all of the phase 4 things, because that's where I ran into my problems. So